I think what had happened was it did change it. So there was more confidence. There were more buyers. There was more volume. But it was also, but in terms of like say barrier of entry, when I was a kid or even a young adult, barrier of entry was very high. Not because of money or lack of money, it was lack of knowledge, because not that many people possess knowledge. So now the grading services come out, and fundamentally, it levels the playing field. You could someone could put together $50 million of private equity fund and build a website and buy up coins, not knowing anything about coins almost, and claim they're one of the world's largest retailers, not having any experience or knowledge. Basically, off the backs of the grading services, they can now buy and sell coins without having knowledge. So it's open. So in terms of barrier of entry, it's much more competitive. So yeah, so volumes are higher, but profit margins are tiny.
And
So that's where, or smaller.
is that still happening right now? I mean, obviously the silver and gold prices have kind of run crazy here over the past 12
No,
months.
I think so. I think because of the information out there on the internet, it's uh, it's much tougher to make a margin. I just bought a 1798 for a large cent. It auctioned for 89,000 last month or two, and I paid 90,000 for it. I think I have a buyer for 92,000, and I'll have to wait 30 days to get paid. So you're talking about
Yeah.
that's a 3% margin. Back in the old days, you bought a coin for 90,000, you wouldn't even think of selling it for less than 100, right?
Yeah.
Now you're selling for 92, and now everyone knows what you paid. They go online, they check it, they can ask their AI, whoever. Everyone has AI in their smartphone, and they put the serial number in and find out all the information. So it's much more transparent. So therefore, more confidence, more volume, lower profit margins. And as you know today, Rick, you can call Maryland tomorrow. You could put in a $10 million order, not tomorrow, but Monday, and you could buy SpaceX at the market and spend $10 million on Monday on one stock, zero commission.
Yeah.
So think about that. So is that where we're headed? Maybe, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's hope not. But yeah,
Yeah,
you can see
yeah,
technology having an impact on all
right,
industries, and
sure.
the coin industry is certainly not going to be excluded from that.
Mhm.
So let's talk for a moment about registry sets. I mean, what a great idea, right? Because it basically introduced competitive grading excuse me, competitive collecting by grade. And that drove some big premiums, right? And that drove people wanting to have a finer collection than their friends or
Right.
somebody else. And do you think that was ultimately healthy for the hobby, or do you think it distorted, or do you think it distorted the market now that we can look back?
I would think, and I've argued this many times. I mean, competition is good; it drives up prices, but it has, in some ways, distorted the market. And it sounds absurd, but I think the other day someone mentioned a coin to me. I think it was a 1955 D quarter, so Denver Mint, a coin that when I had my coin shop, I would give it away as a free sample. But I think the highest graded coin just sold for around $60,000. So to me, it's quite possible. I don't have my data in front of me. It's quite possible that the 1955 D quarter is worth more than the finest 1855 quarter. That's absurd to me. The finest 1962 quarter probably worth more than the finest 1862 quarter. So in that sense, it's somewhat just. It's really to me, it's like to me, it's a nightmare. It's a numismatic nightmare. But I would never advise someone to pay $40,000 for a common date wash and quarter in high grade when you could buy a 66 almost as nice for 1% of the price or less. So that's my opinion. I've been wrong about that, but I believe in buying good value. I don't believe in chasing modern coins, so-called condition rarities, just for the highest grade registry, because the populations, as we've seen over the years, may increase, probably will increase. So, to me, I would say stick with rarity. And and again, even as a kid, I always bought the finest possible. But in this market, it's in most cases I would no longer buy the finest, recommend the finest, because the finest is at such an extravagant price. I'd rather buy something that's awfully nice for 10 cents on the dollar than buying the finest.